Hello, thank you for joining March's TLC Tech Time about Canvas groups. We're happy you're here. My name is Emily Franklin. I'm an instructional designer at the TLC, and this session focuses on how you can support structured student collaboration in your course with Canvas groups to help students build teamwork skills, which we know is essential in health sciences. So we'll explore how to design and manage group work that promotes accountability, communication, and deeper learning. You may have seen the Canvas in 5 video about student groups. If you have, this will build on that, but if you haven't, no problem. We'll walk through the key steps here together. You may be using Canvas groups or you may not be, but what kind of group work do you ask students to do in your course? What does group work look like? You might think about that as we walk through the steps of creating Canvas groups today to think about how it can work well in your courses. So here we are in a Canvas course. In order to create groups, I'm going to scroll down my course navigation menu to People. So we create groups from the People tab, and we see here a tab for everyone in the course and then all of these group sets. So I've already created several group sets. I'm going to click on the group research project, and here we can see the 2 groups that are inside of the group research project. So this project has 2 different groups. If I click on the caret or triangle, it drops down all of the students who are in each group. And then I can see plus group. If I wanted to make a 3rd group, I can click plus group to make a 3rd group in the group research project group set. So the group set defines the context or container for the teams, and the groups inside are the actual teams. So a student can belong to only one group per group set. So for the group research project, my student account can only belong to one group within this group set. So if you want students to change groups for each project, like each case study, I have 3 different case studies sets here. You'll need to create a new group set for each project. So I have case study 1 groups, case study 2 groups, and case study 3 groups because I wanted students to work in different groups with different people for each case study. So I had to create a totally new group set for each case study. You can also either have Canvas auto group students, or you can have students choose their own groups, which is called self-sign up. So let me show you these options. To create a new group, I'll click the button plus group set. And I'm gonna just name this as student self-sign up group. I will check allow self-sign up. If you want Canvas to automatically group students, we can leave this checked off or unchecked. And then where we have the section for group structure, create groups now, I'm going to change that to 2 because my course is small. So I'm going to create 2 groups. So we must put a number in here to create the groups right now so that when students go into their Canvas course, they see groups to choose from. So they're going to see 2 groups and they're going to pick one. If I have this as 0, there's no groups for students to choose. So I put a number in there. And then if I wanted to limit groups to a certain number of people, I could do that, but I'm just going to say I want 2 groups, and however many people that works out to, I'm happy with that. You could assign a group leader if you wanted to. I will not select that, and I'll just click save. And now I have a group set where students can sign up for. So if I click to see who's in there, there's no one in there yet because no one has signed up. So let me show you what this looks like from the student perspective. I'm in my Canvas course here as my student account, and I'm in the People tab. So if I click on Groups, so the students have to sign up for the group within the People tab also. So I can scroll down and see that I have student self-sign-up group. I can join group 1 or group 2, and let's say I click join to join group 1. I can switch to group 2 if I want to. So I can switch to, and now I'm in that group and not group 1. Notice that some groups, these are for different projects. This is a group research project. This has the lock icon, which means that as a student, I cannot access this. It's invitation only. This was a group that student or that Canvas auto created the groups, and I'm not in that group. If the group that is self-sign up is full, it will have a lock icon too. So that's how students can sign up for groups on their own. So let's think about what we can do with groups. One thing we might want to use student groups for is assignments. So let me click on the assignments tab in my course navigation menu, and I'm on my assignments page. I can create a new assignment, but I already have one created. So I'm going to click into my case study Marion March assignment, and I'll click edit so that we can see the settings, how I'm going to set it to a group assignment. So I can scroll down here into the settings area of the assignment, and I see here, this is a group assignment. So there's a section for group assignment. I just check, yes, this is a group assignment. And then I select which group set this assignment is for. So I want this group set for my case study 3, Marion Teams March. That's my March group set. I'm going to select that. And now the students who are already grouped, they will work together on this assignment. I can select this box to assign grades to each student individually, but I'm not going to, because one of the benefits of using group assignments is that I don't have to grade every individual student. I can actually just grade a group of students at once. So let me show you what that looks like in SpeedGrader. I will save this assignment setting and look at the SpeedGrader. So SpeedGrader we can access at the top of the assignment. I click SpeedGrader, and usually in SpeedGrader at the top of the page, you see a drop-down menu for the list of student submissions. For this group assignment, I don't have a list of student names, but I have a list of group names. So I have Case Study Marion 1 and Case Study Marion 2. Remember, I only have 2 groups for this assignment. So as I'm grading Case Study Marion 1, and I assign 10 points, let's say, that 10 points goes to everyone in the one group. When I go to Case Study Marion 2, now I can fill out the rubric and the grade for everyone in that group. So it's nice. I'm not grading students individually, but one student submitted here for the entire group, and everyone in the group gets the grade that I'm putting in here. If you want to recall who's in group 2, go back to your People tab, and you can see the students there. So this is very convenient to cut down on how much grading you have to do if it is a group assignment and you want students to be graded the same. Another reason that we might use Canvas groups is for discussions. So let's click on discussions in the course navigation menu and check out a group discussion. So I'm going to click into one I've already created called Group Research Project Discussion Space. So this group discussion was created as a dedicated workspace for a specific group. So this means that only the team members and me, the instructor, can see the activity in this thread. So rather than having this discussion open to everyone in the course, each group has their own discussion space. So they can only see the conversation amongst their own team or group members. And I'll show you the settings for this if we click the 3 dots at the top of the discussion, and I'm going to click edit to see the settings. I scroll down into the setting of this is a group discussion, and I have a drop-down menu to select the group set. I'm going to choose Group Research Project. So all of the groups for that research project will have their own discussion space for group members only, not the whole class. You might also want to use group discussions to break up the whole class into smaller discussions. So for example, I did that for case study Leo February. So for that case study, I decided to have smaller groups. Maybe I have 50 people in my course, but I want a smaller discussion space of like 6 people maybe. So that's nice that you can have discussions work in that way. And then students will automatically be taken to their discussion space, and their replies will only go to group 1, etc. Notice that you, the instructor, when you click into the discussion, you have a button at the top that says group discussion. So if I click this, now I can see the different student groups discussion space. So I can click into case study 1 Leo or case study Leo 2 for the 2 groups there and see what activity is happening in each of the groups. And just a note that SpeedGrader here looks the same as regular discussions since all students are participating and submitting just in smaller groups. Unlike the group assignment where students submit as a group, in the group discussions, each student is participating and submitting individually. So they're graded individually if it's a graded discussion. And a third reason why you might want to use Canvas groups is for group homepage or group space. So I'm going to go back to my People tab to look at my groups again to show you this feature. I'll go back to Group Research Project. So for each group in your group set, there is a group space or like mini Canvas course. So I have Group Research Project 1. I'm going to click the three dots next to that name and I see Visit Group Homepage. So I'm going to click this, Visit Group Homepage. So my overall Canvas course is a public space for the course, but groups actually have their own mini course space that's private to their group and the instructor. So it's like its own mini course space. For you, the instructor, you can toggle between the different groups under the heading Select Group on the page. So I have Group Research Project 1 or Research Project 2. I'll stick with Project 1 group. I can see this is their like mini course space. So from here, students can post announcements to each other, create their own pages, share files here, or create discussions. So let me click into discussions so that I can show you how students might use discussions here. So we have an assignment discussion for this group that I, the instructor, created from my overall course for this course. So group research topics, this is a graded discussion as indicated by that little assignment icon. We have another discussion called group Q&A. And if I click on this, I will see that this was student created. So I created it from my student account. But so students can create their own discussion space here, maybe for questions and answers, right, about their project or whatever they want to talk about there. So that can be helpful that only the group members see the posts, not everyone in the course sees it. So it's their own private group workspace. Another thing that might be helpful in this space is collaborations. So let me click on collaborations in the course navigation menu, and we see there are already two created here. So one is a group project planning, group 1, and this is a Google Doc that only the group members have access to. So we say, hey, group members, let's organize our ideas here. So this is an easy way to share documents with each other. So if I click plus collaboration, I'll have the option to create a Google Doc, Google Slide, or Google Sheet. So this is super helpful. There's no concern of who to send it to. Everyone can just create and instantly have access to their collaborative documents there. And then to get back to my course homepage, I'm going to use these breadcrumbs at the top of the page. So I'll click Group Research Project 1, and then I will see my Sandbox course. That's my overall course. I'll click that to get back into my actual course. You don't even have to use the group homepage. You can just use groups for assignments and grading ease, or for discussions to break up large courses into smaller group discussions. And then, maybe later on, once you're more comfortable with groups, you might use that homepage course space private to the group so that students can create their own announcements, discussions, collaborative docs, and that would be useful for them. So again, a couple of reasons why you might use groups are for assignments, discussions, or that group mini collaborative space. I hope this session about Canvas groups gave you some ideas about how you might be able to use groups in your own courses. This session was just a brief overview, so if you'd like personalized support, please reach out to us at the TLC. We are happy to help via email or Zoom consultation. And that's it for now, so we'll see you here next time for TLC Tech Time.